Okay, so hi there. Today we are going to discuss about what kind of data on which we can perform data mining. So in previous class we have discussed about classification of data mining. Today we'll start with this one. So what different types of data that we can utilize on which we can perform data mining. So there can be several types of data. Okay. As it is mentioned over here, I will give you in detail one by one what are they and how you can understand the meaning of what type of data is this one. So first one is about our database oriented data sets and applications, under which three types of data I have shown. First one is your relational database. Relational database basically, you can say the term relational database is coming up. That means a database system, which is also called as DBMS. And database management system. It contains this relational databases and it consists of some collection of interrelated data, which is known as database. And database management system, when a set of software programs to manage and access the data, you utilize that becomes your database management system. Relational database is basically a collection of tables, each of which is assigned some unique name. Each table contains some set of attributes. Like, for example, you can take an example of some electronic shop. Electronic shop contains these attributes like customer is there, customer data is there, customer's ID, name, address, age, customer's income. Then item is another attribute which can contain like item ID, item name, item brand. Okay. Then employee information can be there. That is another attribute. Employee ID, category, employee name, employee salary. Branch of electronic shop can be your another attribute. Branch ID, branch name, branch address. So this kind of data set is called as your relational databases. So on these kind of databases, we can perform data mining. What is the meaning of data mining? We are trying to extract some knowledge, so we can perform some query analysis on relational databases to have some knowledge, to extract some knowledge, to extract the information. That kind of data is relational database. Next one is your data warehouse. Data warehouse is nothing but, I have told you, we have already discussed about data warehouse. What is data warehouse? Data warehouse, you can think it like a box where data from different types of data, heterogeneous data from different sources, multiple sources is available at one place in a unified schema, you can say. So officially, I can say that data warehouse is a repository in which heterogeneous data from multiple sources is available at a single site or a unified schema. That is nothing but your data warehouse. So data warehouse, that data from different sources will be stored in that data warehouse, on which query and analysis tools will be applied to extract the information. That is the motive behind. So what kind of another data on which we can perform data mining? On data warehouses. And I have written this term over here, data cubes. Data cubes are nothing but a cube, a multidimensional cube that is being utilized to represent information. So these data cubes are utilized in data warehouses to present the information. So we'll come up on that on later further topics when we will discuss data warehouses in more detail. For now, suppose that your electronic shop example we are considering again is a successful company and it is being around the world. It is being having branches around the world. So each branch has its own data set. Okay, on set of databases also you can say. So as a president of this electronic shop, that person is asking you to analyze company sales per product per branch for their particular time period. Okay, so this is a difficult task to perform, particularly since the relevant data are spread out over several databases, physically located at several different sites. So what we can do this task, if we will be having this data warehouse, that means if we will be having all the data from different branches available at this data warehouse available to us, then it will become easy for us to perform the task. Okay, So here we can perform different types of information extraction queries utilizing any tool. And basically this data warehouse is usually modeled by this multi-dimensional database structure where each dimension corresponds to some attribute. That is nothing but your data cube. I have already told you. Okay, so this is another type of data on which we can perform data mining. Third one comes your transactional databases. So basically, what are transactional databases? So I'm discussing about this one. Let me highlight. It consists of a file where each record represents some transaction. The very basic example for transactional database can be your finance related or bank related database. Transaction typically includes some unique transaction ID, list of items which are making up those transactions. So you can have a kind of data set, a table you can think of like a sales data is there, under which transaction ID is there and list of products which were being sold out during that transaction. So as an analyst, you can say that on electronic shop database again, you may like to ask, show me all the products being purchased by a particular customer one. Okay, so those kind of information you can extract from these transactional databases. How many transactions include product two? So that is another kind of information that you can extract from transactional databases. Okay, so that is your what type of data on which we can perform data mining. First, we have discussed about database oriented data sets, which includes your relational database, data warehouse or data cubes, transactional database. Okay. Next is last one is about our advanced data sets and advanced applications. So here different types of examples related to advanced data sets and advanced applications are being written over here. So let us understand the new database applications, which includes your maps, engineering design data set, like your design of building system components or integrated circuits, or any other data that includes your multimedia data, including your text, image, videos, or any time related data like stock exchange data, historical records. So these applications require some efficient data structure or scalable methods for handling your uh, unstructured type of data, semi-structured type of data, or variable length records. These all come under these advanced applications or advanced data sets. So in response to all these needs, advanced database systems or advanced specific application oriented database systems have been developed, which includes your data stream, sensor data, time series data, structured data, or social networks, multi-linked data, heterogeneous databases, map related data, okay, multimedia database, and some more are there like your text databases or world wide web related databases. Okay, so these are all over together makes your advanced database or data sets on which we can perform data mining techniques. So that is all over the point on what different types of data we can perform data mining. Okay, now let us see what are different data mining functionalities. One by one we have to cover up and we will understand the meaning of the words that are written over here. Let us see. The first one is concept class description, you can say. So here you can see over here multi-dimensional concept description. It is also called as class description, under which we have to see characterization or discrimination. Okay, now data can be associated with some particular classes or concepts. Now, if I have to make you understand it in more clarified way, then let us take an example of this electronic shop. Classes of items for sale purpose. It can include your different products like your computers, printers, okay? And the concept of customers can include your budget, okay? Or spending time. Or who are the big spenders who are spending on particular products. So that becomes your concept, and class becomes your different types of products for sale. That can include your laptops, printers, computers. So it can be useful to describe your individual classes and concepts in a summarized or concise way, and yet to be precise way. Okay, so such descriptions are called as concept descriptions or class descriptions. And these descriptions can be derived via characterization or discrimination. That is the motive. Okay. Now, what is data characterization? That data characterization, basically we want to summarize the data. I'm talking about characterization. Characterization means by summarizing the data of the class under study. Often we call it as a target class. So it is a summarization of the general features of our target class which we are studying, okay, which the data which is under study. So for example, you can consider this example to study the characteristics of the products in electronic shop whose sales increased by 10% in last year. So one can collect this data related to such products by executing any SQL query, okay. So that is like summarization. Second one is your discrimination. What is data discrimination? Basically, here we have to compare things. Discriminate means to compare. Okay. So what we have to do, comparison of the target class with one or set of some other opposite classes, comparative classes. One example you can consider for data discrimination is you want to study or you want to compare the general features of the products for sale whose sale has been increased by 10% in last year with those whose sales has been decreased by at least 30% during the same period. So here we are comparing two parts. In characterization, we were just checking out the products whose sale has been increased by 10%. And in discrimination, we are comparing those products whose sale has been increased by 10% with those whose sale has been decreased by 30% at least. So that is discrimination. So here the main idea behind characterization and discrimination is to generalize, summarize, or contrast data characteristics. Okay, so that is the all over meaning of these two terms. I hope you got the understanding about multidimensional concept description. Okay, that is the point. Next one is our frequent patterns, association analysis, correlation versus causality. So here we have to mainly talk about these association analysis. Basically, there are some association rules, how two things are associated with each other. So that goes with these association rule, which is being represented by X goes to Y. So this relationship where database tuples that satisfy the conditions in X are also likely to satisfy the conditions in Y, that is the meaning. Okay. I will give you one example of it so that you will be able to understand what are some association rules. Okay. So that we have to cover up. Let us see this relationship that is written over here, X goes to Y. Here the term comes of frequent patterns. What are frequent patterns? These are nothing but your item sets that we are showing. If we are taking an example of electronic shop, then different item sets in the electronic shop will become your frequent patterns. Now let us see what are these association rules. I'm giving you one example, association rules that you have to see for sure. Okay, now given your electronics relational database, a data mining system may have this association analysis rule. I'm writing this rule like this. I want to see about product. Let me first write down this rule. So that is association parameter, and I'm writing one product C. So that is one rule example under which there are two terms. Support is 2% and confidence is, as we can say, like 50%. Okay. So that is the one example of writing any association rule. So here what I am trying to do, I want to see of all the customers which we are studying from the electronic shop, I want to check the relationship between the customers who are in the age group of 20 to 30 and with the income of 30 to 35,000 say, and the customers who are buying laptop. Okay, so here, what are these parameters in support and confidence? Let me explain it. Basically, hear it properly what I'm trying to elaborate to you. The thing is, 2% of the customers are in the age group of 20 to 29 with an income of 30 to 35,000, and they have already purchased this laptop from this electronic shop. That is the meaning of this support. Support means that event is already truly happened. Okay, so 2% from the customers which are under study from the electronic shop, they are in the age group of 20 to 30 with an income of 30 to 35,000 and they have bought laptop. Now, another thing, what is this confidence now? Confidence is basically the probability. That means I can say that there is a 60% probability or a 60% confidence we have, or 60% certainty is there that customer in the age group of 20 to 30 with an income of 30 to 35,000 will buy this laptop. So that comes with the probability. Okay, I hope you got the understanding. So these kind of study with association rules for the frequent patterns is called as association analysis. Okay, I hope you got the understanding. If you are having any doubt, please comment. So that is about your association analysis. Next is your classification and prediction. Now let us see what is this classification and prediction. Classification basically is a process of finding a set of models which describe or distinguish data classes or concepts for the purpose of being able to utilize your model to predict the class. Basically, what I'm trying to do here, I want to classify particular data set into some classes. It can be like two classes or more than two classes. So as you can see over here, construct models or functions that describe or distinguish classes or concepts for future prediction. So obviously for future prediction, we are talking about. Suppose for an example, to make you understand it more, we are here talking about predictions. We want to classify countries on the basis of climate. I want to make this data set available with us, like we have the climate of countries data set available with us, and I want to make classification whether to travel to that country in particular month or not, to travel, not to travel. So that is a classification. I want to predict on the basis of that data set available whether you should travel to that country in this time period or not. Okay, that is classification. Another classification can be classify cars based on their mileage. Obviously, whether to buy the car or don't buy the car. So I have this data set available with me to for the cars based on their mileage available, and I have to predict whether I should buy that car or not. So that is the example of your classification and prediction. Okay, so predict some unknown or missing numerical values. That is a motive behind it. So that is another functionality of data mining. So till now we have discussed three types of functionalities. First one is your multidimensional concept or class, that is to summarize the data or to compare the data. Then association analysis by running these kind of making these kind of associations between two things, LHS, RHS. Then classification and prediction. So these are the three functionalities. Further, um, for this session, that will be enough. I will continue with the functionalities of data mining in our next session. So thanks for watching. Keep showering your love and keep supporting the channel. Please subscribe the channel and share it with your friends. So thank you so much again. That's it.